Have you ever wondered how your favorite chocolate is made? Let's step back in time to the origins of chocolate, to the ancient Mayan civilization. This sophisticated society, nestled in the heart of Central America, was the first to discover the delectable taste of cocoa beans. Revered for its unique flavor, the cocoa bean was more than just food for the Mayans. It was a valuable commodity, a form of currency, and a sacred offering used in religious ceremonies. As time passed, this bitter bean embarked on a journey across oceans through different cultures and civilizations, gradually evolving into the sweet treat we relish today. From the royal courts of Europe to the bustling streets of modern cities, the evolution of chocolate is a fascinating tale of discovery, innovation, and indulgence. So, the journey of chocolate begins with the humble cocoa bean. But how does it transform into the chocolate we know and love? The chocolate-making process starts with the harvesting of cocoa beans. This begins with the cultivation of cacao trees, an undertaking that requires a delicate balance of sunlight, rainfall, and temperature. Now, these trees aren't your average backyard species. They're incredibly sensitive, demanding careful nurturing to bear fruit. The fruits of these trees, known as cocoa pods, don't ripen all at once, making the harvesting process an ongoing affair. Farmers must assess each pod individually, ensuring it's at the perfect stage of ripeness before it's picked. This is crucial because overripe or underripe pods can negatively affect the taste of the chocolate. Once a cocoa pod is deemed ripe, it's carefully cut from the tree. But wait, we're not done yet. The real treasure lies within these pods. They're split open to reveal cocoa beans encased in a sweet, sticky pulp. These beans are then extracted, ready for the next stage. Once harvested and extracted, the magic truly begins. The next steps in the chocolate-making process are fermentation and drying. Now, fermentation may sound like a complex term, but it's quite simple, really. It's all about letting the cocoa beans sit and naturally ferment for several days. This is where the magic begins. You see, during this process, the beans undergo a transformation. They start to develop that rich, complex chocolate flavor we all know and love. But let's not forget about drying. After fermentation, the beans need to dry out. They're simply left out in the sun to bask and reduce their moisture content. It's a bit like a cocoa bean sunbathing session. This drying stage is essential to prevent mold and other unwanted elements from spoiling our precious beans. So, through the power of natural processes like fermentation and drying, we start to unlock the true potential of the cocoa bean. With the beans fermented and dried, we're one step closer to our delicious chocolate. Now it's time for roasting and grinding the beans. The roasting process is where the true magic begins to happen. Imagine the cocoa beans, each packed with potential, being gently heated. As they roast, the heat works to coax out the unique flavors hidden deep within each cocoa bean. This roasting is what develops the final flavor profile of the chocolate, and it's a delicate dance of temperature and timing. Once the beans are perfectly roasted, they're cracked open. This process, known as winnowing, separates the thin shell from the precious cocoa nibs. These nibs are the heart of the cocoa bean, and they're what gives chocolate its distinctive taste. The nibs then take a trip to the grinder where they're transformed into a paste. This paste, fondly known as chocolate liquor, is not alcoholic, but it's intoxicating in its own right. It's the foundation of all things chocolate. From bean to paste, we're nearly there. The final steps in the chocolate-making process are conching and tempering. The magic begins with conching. This is where our chocolate liquor gets a dash of sweetness with sugar and a touch of creaminess with cocoa butter. The mixture is then heated and ground for several hours. Imagine a culinary symphony where each note is a grain of sugar and cocoa butter dancing together in a heated waltz. This process doesn't just mix the ingredients, it refines them, smoothing the texture and rounding off the flavor of the chocolate. Then comes the tempering process. The chocolate is carefully cooled and reheated in a precise choreography of temperature changes. This is what gives the chocolate its glossy finish and smooth texture. It's like the final polish on a masterpiece, ensuring each bite melts perfectly on your tongue. And there you have it. From a humble cocoa bean to a delicious piece of chocolate, the journey is long, but the result is worth every bite.